Welcome to ETT, Everyday Tech Things. This is ETT TWIT, This Week in Tech. So this series is really about the news in technology around the Caribbean and also some international news. And I'm excited to launch the show and share my opinion on the news around the Caribbean and also news in the international sphere. So first, we're going to be talking about some local news, which I consider a very good initiative. So let's jump into it. So today we'll be talking about Huawei, and Huawei basically just give the Ministry of Education over 6,000 tablets. And this initiative is to make sure that kids in Jamaica who has to learn from home, so the work from home, school from home type vibes, that is what's going on. And Huawei is basically giving Ministry of Jamaica 600 tablets, and they had given UE and UTech a couple tablets last year. So let's read the article and kind of see what they say on Sleek. So this article is also on Sleek Jamaica, so we have to give Sleek props for putting up this article. So the article is Huawei adds the 6,000 tablet collection in the one laptop or tablet per child initiative. So let's read the article. Huawei Jamaica made a generous donation to the Ministry of Education towards the ministry one laptop or tablet per child initiative on Thursday, January 7th. The donation comprised of 500 MediaPad T3 10-inch LTE tablets. Minister Fayval Williams said, "It is important to take the first step in ensuring that students have these devices, as it is the first order of business in getting them to participate in online classes. Let me say a big thank you for the donation of 500 tablets, which I know adds to the 200 tablets that were donated to UE and UTech last year, bringing it to a total of 700 tablets," the minister said. So I won't be reading all the article. If you want to check out the article, you can always go on the website. I'll be linking the websites in the description. So that's the first one for today. It's a big news. I really commend Huawei for doing such an initiative, giving back to the students who need it. And it's a great initiative, and this news is coming out of Jamaica. I am located in Jamaica, so anything like this, which I consider, great news, amazing news in tech as it relates to, giving back and giving to our students. You have many persons right now in Jamaica who doesn't necessarily have a good internet access, or, don't have the devices to go online for their classes. So this initiative is amazing, and Huawei, big up on yourself. So the next article we are looking at is the next article from Jamaica that we'll be looking at, and it's infrastructure to facilitate the production of digital birth certificate 90% complete. So this to me is a very important article, and it should be for local Jamaicans and international Jamaicans, because you no longer have to go to RGD or go to any one of these places to collect your birth certificate. It's now a digital thing, and it's recognized across the world. So let's get into the article. So the implementation of infrastructure that will facilitate the production of digital birth certificate for Jamaicans is now 90% complete. Good news. This was disclosed by Program Director for National Identification System, NIDS, Vernon, who said that the National Public Key Infrastructure, NPKI, project is expected to be completed by March, following the conclusion of certain processes. There is some public registration that we need to do. we have to certify it. We have to get those NPKI auditors in, and there is a process to go through, he said. Vernon also responded to the question posed by a member of the Joint Selected Committee of Parliament on NIDS legislation, Julian Roberts, during its meeting on Tuesday. He said with NPKI in place, it is also expected by March. We'll also be in a position to launch phase 1 of the project, which is to allow the public to go online, request a copy of your birth certificate, a digital copy which you can take anywhere in the world, and they can verify it and tie it back to the security framework for the NPKI. The NPKI is a part of the non-NIDS aspect of the government's impending NIDS program, which seek to create a unique, reliable, and secure way of verifying an individual identity. The NPKI project aims to make Jamaica a more digital society in which there is a ubiquitous use of information and communication technology, ICT, in all spheres. So this is really about NIDS, and if you're a Jamaican, you would be familiar with NIDS. So what NIDS is, as they said, NIDS is the National Identification System. So it's a system, whereas it's a digital system where Jamaicans would have a identification where it allows the government to identify persons, and you'll have this identification technically from your baby. Which to me, I don't have a problem with NIDS. You know what I mean? It's like a social security number. The government has certain information. I don't necessarily have a problem with NIDS. As a matter of fact, NIDS will make a lot of things easier. So, you know what I mean? I am for this digital birth certificate. As I say, if you live in Jamaica and you ever been to RGD or any one of these governmental place to get any form of documents, you would have known that it's not easy. It takes a certain amount of time. So if you can go online and get your birth certificate online, just go online, request a copy of your birth certificate, print the copy, you can use it anywhere around the world. That's definitely a push forward to future for Jamaica, and you know, moving Jamaica in the future, as I would say. Let's jump into our next article. I think I have a next Jamaican article here. Now, this article is tech resolution worth pursuing. So, I'll write this article. I'm not sure who wrote this article, but this article came out on the 6th of January 2021. So these are some resolutions that, you know what I mean, the person is saying that Jamaica should have, or the government should have, moving forward in 2021 to push Jamaica and the country forward into the digital world. So let's just run through the resolutions. I think I have to read all the resolution for it to make sense. So let's just run through the resolutions and see what they're saying. So the first resolution is that the government technology thrust will be consistent with the needs of the public. In particular, we look forward to the implementation of the National ID System, NIDS, as I just spoke about, with the appropriate safeguards such that the public will not be reluctant to embrace it. We need to move beyond politics. That government works are assiduous. That government works assiduous to encourage. That government works assiduous to ensure the radical revamp of the educational system to reflect the urgent need for every student to have an equal opportunity to access the advanced teaching methods forced upon us by the pandemic. Investment appropriate technology must aim to create the right environment for learning both at home and in the classroom. So I agree with number 2 resolution. And number 3 resolution is that the government address the critical need of the agricultural sector to reduce the impact of annual natural calamities and build resilience to face the kind of shocks such as the pandemic generated. So technology should be at the forefront of the drive to make the agricultural sector the next most important industry after tourism. Well, the agricultural sector is very important in Jamaica as that's where we get our food from. And if you are outside of Jamaica or you have been to Jamaica, you know how Jamaican food is. People always laud Jamaican food and say Jamaican food is good. So the agricultural industry is very important to me as a Jamaican who lives in Jamaica, and it should be to you if you are somebody who, you know, have an intention to travel to Jamaica one day, you know. So let's continue with resolution 4. So that the private sector adopts a fresh approach to technology, recognizing the value of the overall development of enterprise. So that the private sector adopt a fresh approach to technology, recognizing the value in the overall development of enterprise and the critical workforce. A commitment to investment in industry should be matched by the investment in human resource, training and development. Now, as you know, infrastructure is very important, as infrastructure is what you need if you want to get certain form of development. Think about a first world country and their roads. As number 4 resolution said, it is very important to invest in human resources. You know what I mean? Invest in your people. So, you know, developing your people is just as important as developing the roads. So that is one of the things I want the government to look into, you know what I mean? Investing in technology that allows Jamaicans to better their lives. To better their lives. And, you know, in the coming year, let's see it go. So number 5, that the work from home policy should be solidified based on transparency and respect for the work and respect for the workers, along with removal of any doubt about their capacity to deliver as much as when they were at the workplace. So, you know, this is a big thing, even amongst a lot of the employers, that persons are not as productive if they're home as opposed to if they're in the office. And I must say, on this point I differ, because productivity is something that it really comes down to the person, and not everybody needs a workplace to be productive, you know what I mean? Some persons, as a matter of fact, the time spent driving to a workplace is actually time that you can get persons to be productive, you know what I mean? So I believe the new work from home thing that, you know, has come about because of the pandemic shows a lot of the employers that persons can produce from working at their home, and I believe a lot of persons are even producing more by working from home. So, you know, resolution 5 is a good one. It's a good one. Yeah. So let's go to resolution 6. Resolution 5 said that the digital transformation is prioritized. The pandemic forced us to make a drastic shift, but we should seize the opportunity not just to catch up, but to advance plans such that our operation benefits from the best use of technology to enhance production capacity and output. According to Garner, implementing new technology to adapt to evolving customer expectations and to improve business processes is no longer optional for companies that want to stay relevant. This resolution is very important. When I say very important, I mean this resolution is one of them, whereas if you are not adapting, if you're a business person and you own a business right now and you haven't adapted to the current state of the pandemic, you have lost millions. You are losing out. So businesses have to adapt. Them just have to adapt. Them not have no choice, you know what I mean? Let's go to resolution 7. So resolution 7, that all licensing agreements are up to date and are value for money. The same is true of investment and maintaining of hardware. Conduct on early evaluation and making critical decision about new acquisition and upgrades. Now, you know what I mean, like keeping the thing them up to date is very important. So, you know what I mean, if you're not keeping the thing them up to date, if your system not up to date, then you know what I mean, you're gonna have some problems. So resolution 7 is a must. Resolution 8. So the increased reliance of customers on your service demands fail-safe systems. Investment in comprehensive cybersecurity is crucial, and that includes the people, processes, and tools you need to maximize data security and cloud-delivered solutions. Very important. Now, as you guys know, security, really important. We have an article coming up. We have something we're talking about, whereas you'll hear them talk about security and how important security is. On an international stage. So this is Jamaica. Security is very important. For me, as a person who uses a lot of technology, always using computer, security is paramount, you know what I mean? You always want to be secure. Your cards, your data, your information. I'm going to be speaking on that on this show a lot. Let's jump back to the article. Resolution 9. That there's an increased cooperation and partnership amongst public and private sector interests to ensure harmonization and common policy positions. Such collaboration provides a speedier resolution on conflict and create a more significant atmosphere of trust and appreciation of technology's value in improving our lives and well-being. You may say no? Number 9 is it. Number 9 is it. Private sector and public sector, you know that go already. There's always like a little thing between private sector and public sector. So you always want to you know what I mean? If private sector and public sector can work, harmonious, it helps the entire country. It helps the entire country. So number 9 resolution is really important to me as a Jamaican and helping out the country, you know what I mean? Bringing the country forward. So the article basically ends, and this article is from Observer. I'll be linking it in the description. Well, you can read the article yourself, even though I read all the article, all the resolutions. So these are just some of the resolutions we offer for consideration at a time when the national mood is affected by the pandemic's challenges. Our optimism reflects the positive experience in the national response to the COVID-19. We can achieve even more by committing to our New Year's resolution in earnest. So, as I say, it's very important to move forward even while this pandemic is happening. So we are moving forward as Jamaicans, and that's I would have said that's the final Jamaican article that we are gonna read. I don't want to make this show 5 hours, so I'm trying to keep the articles between 5 to 7. In Barbados, so let's jump over to Barbados. And this article is an important article for Barbados. Government pushes for digital ID cards rollout. So I don't know if you know what a digital ID card is. So Barbados is pushing to get digital ID. So person's ID now will have a chip in it, so you can always recognize who the person is once they present their ID. So I'm assuming that persons will have to present their ID in most locations. You can't just tell somebody who you are. You have to present your ID, and then the system itself will register who the person is based on the ID itself. So I'm just assuming that's what the article is saying. I'm gonna read the article. So let's read the article and see what the article is saying and why Barbados is pushing to get this digital ID. So let's read the article. This article is from Barbados Today, and as I said, our article will be linked in the description, so you can always read the full article. I would spend days trying to read the full articles, if you understand what I mean. So Government pushes to get digital ID card rollout. Barbadians could be getting their chip-based national ID cards sooner than expected, as the government seek out a fresh approach to tackle the challenges related to contact tracing in the fight against COVID-19 virus. So you see, it's really, them really want it because COVID-19. I already know COVID-19 around the place already, so them really want it for fight COVID-19. All right, let's continue. This indication has come from Prime Minister Mia Mottley, who announced that the use of a digital ID card could be critical in addressing some of the shortcomings. She explained that over the past several days, officials have discovered that some people were given incorrect addresses and other contact information when they visit establishment, making it difficult for the authority to effectively carry out their contact tracing. See? And right now, contact tracing is very important as it relates to finding the person, knowing who come in contact with who, so you can, slow down the spread of COVID-19. So let's continue. In recent days, the island has recorded a spike in local COVID-19 positive cases, which has led to temporary closure of several businesses. When I read all the articles, you can go and read the article. It's on Barbados Today, and I'll be linking the articles. If you want to read the full article, you can always jump in the description and read the full article. When it comes to articles that are outside of Jamaica, I tend to want to get the opinion of somebody who is from the country of the article, you know what I mean? And I spoke about 2 articles from Barbados, namely this one, the government pushing to get digital ID. So I want to get a sense of what a Bajan think about the old digital ID rollout, and if he's for it or not for it, or what is his opinion on it. So I reach out to my friend Kishmar Shephard from Barbados. Wagwan Kishmar?
There.
So the man up on the screen, the man there. So Kishmar, so tell me what you think about this article about the government rolling out digital ID cards, and if you think it's something that Barbados needs, or if you think it's a push for controlling the society or the community itself.
I definitely think it's necessary. Our ID cards currently are a laminated piece of card. It's really poor. It's really poor. And oftentimes when you travel, back when traveling was a thing, people will always look at our ID cards. If I'm paying with my credit card and they ask to see ID, people look at our ID cards like, what's this? What is this? You know, so I'm happy to hear that we'll be getting new ID cards. I don't necessarily buy into the whole idea of trying to control people. I know that we're moving to a more digital society. And as an entrepreneur, I guess I always see the glass as half full. So I'm looking forward to the opportunities this will present to move to a more digital, modern economy for the country.
Okay, all right, mad. That is kind of my perspective to when it comes to digitalization of things in the community and in the environment, because we in Jamaica have something similar what they're struggling to implement, which they call NIDS. And I spoke about NIDS earlier on the show. You know what I mean? There was some new stuff that they're trying to do. They're trying to actually make or birth certificate online, so you can just go online and get a copy of your birth certificate, and it's usable anywhere in the world. So as I say, this is something which, based on the article, the implementation is being sped up because of COVID-19, and persons are giving wrong information. So how you feel about that you know what I mean, the Prime Minister Mia Martley say, yo, listen, because people are giving wrong information, when you have this ID, you really can't give wrong information, because you have to present the ID. Yo, don't tell me where you live, show me your ID, put your ID in our system, and your ID say, yo, all right, then this is the person. So give me your take on that.
It's a welcome change for me. I know that the COVID situation is serious. In Barbados, it has deteriorated a bit. There's actually going to be another update tonight, so we're anxiously waiting to hear what's happening on that front. I'm not very fearful of, state policing and that kind of oversight by government. I think that is something that is going to be hard to escape as we move to a modern world, a modern society, and in the effort of convenience, see, that's the thing. You always have to trade off. So the trade off of anonymity of using cash, because if you spend cash, there's no record. You spend cash and you can go to digital payments where there's always a record. You know, they're trade offs. So it's about weighing that, and everyone won't feel comfortable with it. But I'm one of those people who believes that you can't stop change. Change is inevitable. Doesn't make sense fighting it. You have to find a way to work within the changes that are being made and to make it work for you.
Okay, yeah. Bruv, we are on the same page. We are on the same page because change is the only constant thing. And that might sound weird, change and constant in one sentence. However, change is always happening. So you have to become used to embracing change. COVID has changed many things. This pandemic has revamped the world, and we have to have a different mindset. And the digitalization of the Caribbean countries is something that I am for. As a traveler, as a person who move up and down, you know what I mean, having a certain type of passport, having a certain type of identification mean that persons can identify you wherever you go is important to me as a traveler, you know what I mean? So as I say, much respect Kishmar for come and give me your input on this, because it's important to get the perspective of somebody who is from the country when you're speaking about the news from the country. And just like how I can speak from stuff on Jamaica, you know what I mean? I don't know everything about Jamaica, but I can give an opinion from a Jamaican's perspective. It's important to get the opinion from a Bajan perspective. And you're a Bajan and also a person who lives in Barbados. You're not a Bajan outside of Barbados.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Much respect for coming through and giving me a strength. You know what I mean? It was last minute and reach out to you and you come through and give me a strength. So
anytime, bro. Anytime.
Thanks again, brother. Blessings, you know? Blessings.
Blessings all the time.
Yeah, man. We continue the show. Guidance, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we just have one of my brethren them from Barbados come through, and it's all good, you know what I mean? Much respect, and we're gonna continue the show and, you know what I mean, talk about some other articles. So there's a next article outside of Barbados, and this article is from the Barbados Advocate, and again is about the COVID-19 in Barbados, and you know what I mean, the electronic bracelet to help monitor movements of persons. So again, Barbados is putting in things in place to help kind of reduce some of the spreading of the pandemic in Barbados. And to me, these things are important, and I like the fact that Barbados is pushing forward on this level to you know, reduce the spread of pandemic in their country. So let's read the article. So the article says, as the article title says, PM, which is the Prime Minister, Mia Martley in Barbados, strong woman. All right. Technological issue prevented the government from rolling out the electronic monitoring bracelet to monitor persons quarantined in this country. But the administration is now moving full steam ahead with its plan to utilize such device. So, Prime Minister Mia Amor Martley spoke to this on Monday night while fielding calls from the public, following the update from the Corona-19 Cabinet Subcommittee on the state of the pandemic in this country. Her comments came as she said she is confident that the bracelet will be instrumental in deterring persons from seeking to break the quarantine. Again, I'm not going to read all the article. It's a good article. You can read it yourself. I just want to highlight these articles and highlight these stories in this show I'll be linking all the articles in the description of the video, so you can go and read the article yourself. You know what I mean? And right now, Barbados, I take them things serious. We're not lie. The Bajan them I say, yo, you know man, we're now at a pandemic thing I get out of the way, you know, like how it's it's moving in the United States. So anybody will come in and we put them in a quarantine, or we put on the bracelet, them can't go anywhere. Them not gonna go anywhere. You know what I mean? Because they're not really gonna away when them realize say, you know what I mean, if you go somewhere, we know where you're there. So you can't go say, yo, oh, you never go this or you never go this or so. I like the approach where the Barbadians or the Prime Minister from Barbados basically take on. So jump from Barbados now to an international news, a news that it's fiery, and I'm gonna speak about this, and it's an important news. So let's jump to that. This is really not the major news. The major news is really that WhatsApp changed them privacy policy. But this news is kind of fun because WhatsApp changed them privacy policy. Because of that, other companies are now benefiting from it. So there's a company named Signal. So let me talk about WhatsApp privacy policy. So coming February the 8th, WhatsApp privacy policy will be going in effect, whereas WhatsApp update that your information as WhatsApp will be now shared with Facebook. And if you are from the technology era, if you understand anything with technology, you know that Facebook owns WhatsApp and Instagram. And Facebook is a data company. A lot of person think Facebook is a social network, but Facebook is not a social network. Facebook is a data company. So how Facebook works, how Facebook makes money is by using your data or tracking you and using that data to get persons to advertise on their platform and use your tracking data as a way to target you. So that's how Facebook works. That's how it works on Facebook. That's how it works on Instagram. And I think the same will work with WhatsApp. So when you're talking to a friend, so maybe this has been going on now. Maybe it has been like that for a minute now. Facebook just now have to come out publicly because of some issues they are having in America with even the government and privacy. Facebook have a whole heap of privacy policy. As a matter of fact, it's known. It's a known thing for Facebook to put in so it's a known thing for Facebook to just go ahead and implement their technology, and then they speak to it afterwards. It's a known thing for Mark Zuckerberg to do that. So Elon Musk is kind of trolling them on this one. So what happened is that Elon Musk tells followers to use Signal messaging app amidst WhatsApp privacy update. So WhatsApp, as I said, WhatsApp updated them privacy policies, and this allows Facebook to use your WhatsApp data. So there's a strong possibility that you might be talking into WhatsApp with a friend. I believe that this is happening already. This is just Facebook coming out publicly saying, yo, it's happening. You're talking to a friend in WhatsApp and saying, you know, I feel like I want to buy a shoes. And then when you go up on Instagram, you start to see shoes. When you go on Facebook, you start to see shoes and all these things. So let me get into the article and see how Elon Musk troll Facebook on this one. So, and then it's a great thing for the company Signal. I don't know if Elon Musk has any shares in Signal. Maybe he does. He is the what I call it now. He's now recently, well, yesterday, Elon Musk became the richest man in the world with over $185 billion. So let's see where it might be invested in Signal. Who knows? Encrypted messaging app Signal is seeing a wave of new users after Tesla CEO Elon Musk told his Twitter followers to use the service. You know what I mean? A flood. So the flood of signups on Thursday briefly caused Signal delay sending out the verification code needed to activate new user account. Nevertheless, the non-profit behind the app say it is ecstatic about the surge in activity. So as you can see, Signal put out a tweet where they say verification codes are currently delayed across several providers because so many new persons are trying to join Signal right now. We are briefly registering our excitement. We are working with carriers to resolve this as quick as possible. Hang in there. So that's the tweet Signal put out. And as I say, to me, you have to have options. Signal is just one of the options as it relates to messaging app. There's also another app, big app, popular app, which I consider better than WhatsApp. WhatsApp now has a lot of features for business and stuff like that. But there's another app called Telegram. I have been using Telegram for a while, and that's another good app, more secure app. You know what I mean? Them now grab your data because they don't have a data company behind them as WhatsApp do, which is Facebook. You know what I mean? And again, down here, so you see the tweet from Tesla where you see the tweet from Elon Musk where it's a use Signal, and it's a big thing. It's a big thing right now. It is very relevant, very current with Facebook and Twitter, Facebook and privacy. And you know Facebook own WhatsApp and Instagram, and privacy has been a big issue. Even the other day, one of the things I want to talk about is Facebook make it seems as if they are for small businesses, because I either watching a YouTube video or reading an article the other day where Facebook is talking about iPhone, you know, allowing persons to opt out of certain things in their app. So, you know, iPhone released a new update, whereas everything now on your iPhone, I'm an iPhone user, as you can see, iPhone, and everything now on your iPhone is telling you that it's using your mic, it's telling you that it's using your camera. And when you go to certain website, like third-party websites, it's telling you whether the website is tracking you or not. Now, Facebook came out with this article and saying that Apple is fighting against small businesses and all of these stuff. And come on, Facebook. If you know anything about Facebook and how Facebook works, Facebook themselves is not for small business. And let me explain. The reason why I say that is that if you're a small business and you have 20,000 subscribers on your page, when you make a post on your page, that post is not going to 20,000 people. As a matter of fact, I think it's only going to 3 to 10% of your people. And these are persons who follow your page. So, for instance, I have a page which was grown organically of 32,000 subscribers or 32,000 followers on it. When I post a piece of content, even though the page hasn't really been active, when I post a piece of content, it's only going to 300 or 3,000 persons on the page. So Facebook, you know, it wasn't a great move for Facebook, and I think the persons on the internet realize that Facebook is just trying to show up Apple, but Facebook really can't show up Apple when it comes to privacy. Apple is the company when it comes to privacy. So that's my take on that. I think it happened last week or the week before, where Facebook put out this article. I think it was at the end of 2020, and Facebook, I know we're on the pan. We're not interested. We're not interested, and I'm definitely gonna be signed up in Signal. As a matter of fact, I have a next video on the channel where I'll be showing you how to sign up for Signal and Telegram, so that you have alternative for your messaging app, so you don't just have WhatsApp. So if you choose to opt out from WhatsApp, then you can. Even though I have been reading, whereas in the same article, let's read it. So in the same article, Facebook is saying that, well, you know, this new privacy thing, it doesn't change much, it doesn't change this, but I don't trust Facebook when it comes to certain things. So let me read this part. It says, it's certainly easy to bash Facebook, but the company says in practice the new WhatsApp privacy policy will means no change for its users when it comes to chat with friends and family members. Instead, the update is mainly about data businesses can store and collect over WhatsApp. So, as you know, WhatsApp now is a, I don't know if you know, but WhatsApp now is very data driven, meaning you can add items to your WhatsApp. You can do a lot of stuff in WhatsApp right now, which I appreciate as a business owner. But I don't know, Facebook kind of tricky, you know. Very, very tricky. Facebook, very, very tricky. So, I don't know. When it comes to Facebook, we just not trust some things. I swear. So that is the gist of the article. Facebook, WhatsApp, or WhatsApp as is owned by Facebook, put out this new privacy thing. I think it came up on my phone. I should have recorded it when it came up on my phone, but I'm gonna find what it says when it comes up on your phone and put it in the video, so that you can see it. And it's one of those things that you have to be careful. I'm gonna say Facebook is notorious for these things. You know, it's very notorious for these things. Another article that I want to look on, which is not necessarily, it's still tech news, but it's more on the live streaming side. And if you know, I have a live streaming company, so I want to highlight this. Now, this article, Hopin acquires StreamYard, a leading live video streaming studio, for 250 million. Wow. Amazing. Amazing. So you might not be familiar with Hopin. I am familiar with it because I am from the live streaming industry. So I'm familiar with Hopin. What Hopin is a live streaming platform which gives you more like a conference, like live streaming setup, whereas it allows you to create more a conference as opposed to Zoom or any of these other platforms, whereas it's just everybody inside of one platform and you're seeing the various persons who are inside the platform. Hopin allows you to move around the conference. So you can move from one room to the next. You can go and look at booths. You can go into the main room, the main stage, and watch things in there. You can go into breakout rooms that are separate, and it allows you to create the conference in such a way that it adds a lot of value. You have also networking aspect of it. So Hopin is amazing, and as I say, I'm a professional live producer. So I produce content, and this is one of the software that I have proposed to persons. I've never used it myself, but I've proposed to persons to use. So let's jump into the article and see what Hopin's or why Hopin think that StreamYard worth $250 million US. So let's read the article. Hopin, a leading virtual event platform, announced today that it has acquired StreamYard, a live streaming studio that allows content creators to produce professional quality streaming experience. The purchase will allow Hopin to provide advanced video production featuring Hopin event organizers. In addition to eventually integrating its features into Hopin platform, StreamYard will continue to offer its live streaming studio tools to independent content creators. Hopin will pay a total purchasing consideration of $250 million US to acquire StreamYard, comprised with cash and stock. Wow, amazing. This is so amazing. So StreamYard is something that I also recommended to persons to use. As a matter of fact, somebody called me yesterday and asked me which software they can use to connect to their YouTube to actually go live and bring in their audience. If they want them audience to come on screen while they're live, they can use a software like StreamYard. I personally don't use StreamYard. I use Restream because I am more familiar with Restream. However, Restream updated their suite because of StreamYard, because once the pandemic hit, StreamYard rocketed, similar to Zoom, for persons using software online to do their production. And I am glad for StreamYard and the persons who are behind it, because this is a lot of money, to be acquired by such a company. And acquisition is sometimes good and bad, depending on who you are and what the persons want the company to do, because sometimes persons acquire companies to kill them. All right, where I was now. All right, so I'm excited for StreamYard. However, acquisition is something that it can be a good thing and a bad thing. It can be a good thing and a bad thing. I've known of companies who acquire companies to just kill them. So if you realize that you have a competition and you see them potential, sometimes you acquire them to kill them. I don't think this is so, based on that the two companies complement each other. But this is a big thing. And as I say, I'm from the live production industry. So this is something that I am glad to see that, StreamYard was acquired by Hopin, two software that I know because I am from that industry. And this is the first episode of TWIT, This Week in Tech, and I am planning to do this show every week. Upload it on Friday at 7 p.m. So just tune in. I'm trying to bring technology news to you guys every week about what's going on in technology, about what's going on in the technology spheres, the new technology. As you know, it's a tech channel, and news of tech is one of the things that it's an important part of it. What's going on in the technological space. And I must say, this is not all the stuff that has happened over the week. These are just the ones that I decided to share. There are a lot more that happens over the week. And some week, I will have to make shows or make a piece of content that involves all 15 pieces of different news. I might just condense it in such a way that I don't necessarily speak or read the whole article. I read a lot of it. It's just more like I graze over it and talk about the news itself. So, as I said, this is another series for the channel, and I am Shango, a creative from Jamaica. This is ETT, Blessings and Guidance.